What is going on? Welcome back to another video. Vlogmas day 19, I think we're on. 19, that's crazy. Starting this morning off, I already had a meeting, ate some breakfast, and I have just been tearing down. What is going on with my hair? Okay, whatever. I have just been tearing down my floor, basically. So, taking down all the posters, all the door decks, all that, getting ready for winter break. It's been a very chill morning, not much to do. My hair looking like this is not the move, so we're gonna fix my hair. It looks horrible, but I don't really care. It's good enough. I've officially finished my RA duties for the night. I finished about an hour ago, but I just kind of relaxed. I've been moving around like non-stop all day. So I kind of gave myself a little bit of time to relax. I'm now doing Christmas shopping, which I know, so bad of me doing it so last minute, but sometimes that happens. And as I guessed yesterday, today is most likely gonna become a sit down and talk video, which almost works out because I feel like I have a lot to talk about, and I feel like I haven't really sat and talked like a heart-to-heart type of talk in a little bit. So I think we're gonna do that today. So if you don't want to hear me ramble, this is probably a great time to click off of this video. But if you don't mind listening to me ramble and talking about life, then carry on, and I'm gonna place this order, and then that's probably what we're gonna do. For a while, I struggled to figure out where to sit down to talk. This is where I ended up, in front of my bed, on an inflatable chair, which, if you hear weird noises that sound like that, I don't even know if you can hear it on the camera, but if you hear those noises, that's what it is. It's the inflatable chair. Last time I talked about this situation, I was in that corner of my room. I felt like I needed a change of scenery because I might as well be like adventurous, I guess, in talking about the situation and take control of all aspects of my room. All jokes aside though, there's a situation that I've talked about on and off for probably about 2 months throughout videos, and it hasn't made every video, but it's made a few of them. I've left it pretty vague, just out of respect for other people and also not throwing everything out on the internet. What I am gonna do though is sit here and talk about what I've learned. And this isn't to say that I've learned everything, because Lord knows I am still very much so in the process of healing from everything that's happened. But I have learned a lot, and I feel like there's no benefit in keeping that to myself. On top of that, this is the process of healing, and the process of healing can come upon somebody from a whole list of things. I'm gonna leave it vague in hopes that somebody might watch this and it will help them, and it won't be something where they feel like it doesn't relate to them because it's a different situation or anything like that. I hope that makes sense. I don't really know if it does. I always heard that the process of healing was a roller coaster. I believe I talked about this a little bit in a past video, but I thought that was the dumbest thing anyone had ever said to me, or anyone had ever said in general, until now. Because to be fully real with you, this situation happened about 2 months ago, and it affected me very greatly at the beginning, and then it literally went like this on a daily basis. Some days were like this, and sometimes it was just like, oh, Monday's here, Tuesday's here, Wednesday's here, Thursday, oh, maybe Friday's up here still, Saturday. Like, it was very much so up and down, whether it was by the hour, the day, or the week, or the month. Not the month, it's hasn't been long enough for it to be the month. Basically what I'm saying is it is a roller coaster. And then I was okay for a little bit. I was probably up here consistently for I don't know how long, honestly, because I haven't kept track. But I was up there. I was all the way up here. And now here I am. It's been 2 months. And I would say I'm right in the middle, maybe a little bit more to the low side. And that never made sense to me. How can you be up here about a situation and then as you get further away from when that situation happened, go down? It never made sense to me. And here I am now living it. And I feel like this is a realization that other people must have had. Like, there's no way it's just me, but maybe it is just me. Maybe I'm just that stubborn. I don't know. Regardless, my point is that healing is very much so not linear. It is very much so a roller coaster. And some days you're at the highest point of the world, and some days you're at the Earth's core. And it doesn't matter what time frame you are from that situation. It doesn't matter if you're the day after or you're a year after. That's how it can be. Everybody processes things differently. And I feel like that's something that's really important to know. Everybody processes things differently. I feel like if there's two things I've learned, it's one, you always have to be able to rely on yourself. And two, you always have to let yourself feel what you feel. The reason I say you always have to be able to rely on yourself is simply because you don't want to rely on something else. Trust me, I know that. There's something that's about the size of my hand that I relied on nonstop, consistently, for a long time. Call the phone. And let me tell you, this little thing right here had enough power to affect friendships, relationships, family relationships, my mental health, a lot of things. Don't rely on this. Rely on this. Not this, that. You. Rely on yourself, because the worst thing that you can do is rely on someone or something else. It's ironic because you always hear, like, people always leave, or you're not promised tomorrow, or whatever the case may be. And it reigns true to so many things, like not just people, but like a phone. Like at any point, I'm sure there's something in this world that could happen where all phones just shut down out of nowhere. We don't expect it. And now what are you doing without a phone? You know what I mean? And obviously nobody's promised tomorrow. That's a truthful statement. So what are you gonna do if that one person that you rely on is gone tomorrow? Which is a really, like, I feel like it makes me sound really deep and like it's not a fun thought to have, but it is a thought that should be like kind of there. But like most importantly, like when I really ultimately say rely on yourself, I mean love yourself, care for yourself, be your own number one. And that will get you so far in life. Like trust me, it will get you so far. So just do that. Number two, feeling what you feel. It's actually almost funny because I, in the past, have been the type of person who does bottle stuff up. And it's never done me well. And that can be bottling emotions up, bottling thoughts up, communication problems to where like that type of stuff builds up, and then eventually something always builds up to where it overflows. And when it overflows, that's never good for anybody. So feel what you feel, because I promise you that will get you very far in life and it will help you. And there's like that stupid stigma of like, oh, guys can't feel emotions, or if you show emotions you're weak, or like all that stuff. And I think that's so stupid because we are human and we have emotions and we need to feel our emotions. I can't express that enough. Healing, man, it is something. I feel like the scariest thing about healing is that it comes in so many different forms. I feel like healing is just something you have to figure out, which is like hard to say. Because if you would have told me that a month ago, honestly, even on the days where I was like at a high, I would have been so mad. I would have been so mad at the person that told me that. Because obviously when you're struggling with something and going through something, you want all the answers. And sometimes not having those answers is like the hardest thing. And that's okay. I am telling you that that is okay. And it is something that you just have to learn to be okay with. And that's something that I am still learning. And it's not an easy thing to learn, but I promise you it is possible, and it does get easier as time goes on. Trust me, if you would have told me a week ago that I would be sitting here wanting to cry about this situation, I would have laughed in your face. I would have said, I'm past the crying stage. I would have laughed in your face. And here I am, walking proof that nothing is linear and everything is an up and down roller coaster. And it's funny because I was texting one of my friends and I said to them, I said, I can't figure out if it's because the holidays are coming up or because I'm home, because I've been home the past week, or if it's just all coming back. If I didn't let myself feel it enough earlier, so now I'm feeling it. Like, I couldn't figure it out. And that is another thing where I'm like, I just want the answers, but I can't get them. So here I am now, learning to accept that it is so much easier to have answers, but you can't always get them. I think the main point that I have to say is trust the process. If there's anything that I know, it's that everything happens for a reason. And trust me, that's the last thing I ever thought that would come out of my mouth. Especially going through the situation that I'm going through. That's the last thing I ever expected to come out of my mouth. But trust me, that is true. It is true. I haven't cried in a while. Now you're probably sitting there like, why am I taking advice about healing from a girl that's crying? Trust me, I've learned a lot in my life the past 2 months. Life can be hard, and life can beat you down until you're at rock bottom. But I promise you, there's always a ladder to go up. Even if it doesn't feel like it, there is always a ladder to go up. You can always go up. A big part of healing also is forgiving yourself. So I'm telling you to be patient with yourself and forgive yourself. And if forgiving yourself means going and apologizing to people or whatever it may be, just do it. Like, put your ego aside or the embarrassment aside or whatever feeling you could feel by apologizing or doing whatever you have to do to forgive yourself. Put it all aside and just do it. Forgiving yourself is, I swear, like one of the most powerful things. And if you don't know how to forgive yourself, you're never gonna know how to forgive someone else. Please trust me on that. I feel like I've talked a lot and I've rambled a lot. And I feel like there's so much more to say. And I promise one day I'm gonna say it. And one day I'm gonna sit here and not cry about the situation or anything. And I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna say everything that I did to help myself. I just wanna make it clear that healing isn't linear. And healing is a long, hard process. But you are strong and you are a strong person. And you can get through anything that you put your mind through and anything that comes to you. I promise. And this is coming from someone who didn't believe that and thought that anything that came at me was just with the sole purpose of knocking me down further and further. So, with that being said, I'm gonna end this video off here. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you are strong, you are powerful, you got this, and I believe in you. So just keep pushing. Whatever you're going through, just keep pushing. Remember, tell someone you love them today, and I will see you tomorrow.